I am incredibly honored to be here this morning. I would like to thank Wade Grant for the welcome to the territory, the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people, in this case particularly the Musqueam. Thank you for your ongoing support. Thank Marpole Neighborhood House for letting us be one of the first events in this beautiful new facility, and which was opened last week. Thank you to Jasmine and to Dominique. Merci beaucoup for the introduction. And thank you everyone for coming out this morning. I know it is a work day for most, if not all of us, and thank you for the messages of those who could not be here but wanted to be here. So let me start by saying that it has been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve as the Member of Parliament for Vancouver Granville. And I want to thank all of the constituents for your ongoing and your continued support. I've always been incredibly grateful to hear your views, questions, and suggestions. So today is a good day. I love to see the faces in the room, and I am incredibly happy to be home in the riding to tell you about the decision that I've made. It is after much deliberation that I have decided to put my name forward for re-election in the 2019 election in Vancouver Granville. Thank you. And in this election, I will be running as an independent candidate. So I want to tell you why, what brought me to make this decision. So in recent months, I've found myself in uncharted waters. Now sitting as an independent in the farthest corner on the west side of the House of Commons. During this time, I've had the opportunity to both reflect on what we could learn from the events that have transpired, and I've had the opportunity to hear from friends, colleagues, family. My husband is here, my sister Corey, my niece Kaya and Kayleen, and of course, many of you, the constituents of Vancouver Granville, and indeed Canadians from coast to coast to coast. Incredibly, I have received over 15,000 emails, letters, cards, messages expressing support and encouragement. Many of these giving advice and sharing thoughts about what I should do next. So thank you. It really means a lot to me. The overwhelming message I received was clear. Clear how we need to do politics differently. That partisanship is trumping principle, that exclusion is trumping inclusion, and the lack of diversity of voices was simply unacceptable. And there is too much power in the center. In addition to the people kindly thanking me for what I did and asking that I remain in federal politics, I was consistently told by people, young and old, from all backgrounds, that the events had inspired them, motivating them to get involved. Above else, to not be afraid to speak up, to speak truth. They were asking me to keep up the fight and stay involved. For every person that has come up to me on the street, in the grocery store, in a cafe, or in an airport, let me tell you, it has been you who have motivated me to make the decision today, to keep working alongside you to build a stronger Canada. I know that it will not be easy to run a campaign as an independent. There will be challenges. But with your support, I am confident that running as an independent is the best way to go about it at this time, and the best way to transform our political culture. So let me say a few words about what being an independent means to me and why I believe it is important. We sometimes hear that politics is a team sport, that politics is also a blood sport. Well, I do believe in the importance of a strong team, but I'm not sure that there has to be any blood involved. And it is far too serious a business to call it a sport. After all, it is the lives of people and our future that is at stake. We live in complicated times for our communities, our country, and globally. Everywhere, environmental, economic, and security challenges are deepening. Moving forward, we cannot afford to be complacent. We cannot use the same ideas and attitudes and practices that brought us to this point to deliver the solutions we need. Yes, Canada is for sure one of the best, if not the best, countries in the world in which to live, but we can never take it for granted. In the face of the great challenges our world must address, many places in the world have chosen to erode democracy, traffic in fear, and promote division, naively thinking that the response to the interconnected challenges that affect us all is to try and to protect a few and put up barriers. The truth is, we have to do the opposite. Here in Canada, we have to build on our strengths and accomplishments that brought us together as a nation and allowed us to prosper. When the challenges we have to meet are collective ones, we need to respond through shared and joint efforts that use the distinct ideas, talents, and expertise we all have to offer. And in this reality, there is less room for overt partisanship in our evolving democracy. Rising to these challenges requires Ottawa to operate more openly and transparently in the spirit of nonpartisanship with increased cooperation. That is what I am now, more than ever, as an independent committed to advocating. As an independent, I will be truly free to take the guidance of the citizens of Vancouver-Granville and to represent you. I will not have to try and convince myself that just because the way it has always been done means that it must continue to be done that way. As many of you in this room are aware, I came to Ottawa in 2015 from an unconventional political background to most. Before 2015, I had never been involved in provincial or federal politics, and I had never been a member of a political party. My leadership experience before running to be your MP has been in the Indigenous world, advocating for transformation in the relations with Indigenous peoples. As some of you know, in my cultural teachings, we strive to work through consensus. While there are a diversity of views, tensions, and challenges, we do not entrench them in political parties, and we often frown on personal ambition. The commitment to consensus, the importance of speaking the truth, and striving to honor and uphold each other. These are the core values of my culture and teachings. This is what I know. In asking you to elect me as your representative 4 years ago, I pledged that I would strive as best I could to act differently than we had increasingly become accustomed to by politicians. And please don't get me wrong. I take great pride in what we have accomplished over the last 4 years. Many important initiatives were advanced both locally and nationally. But I wonder what more could have been accomplished on big issues, the big issues of our time, if it was a less partisan environment. And here I am thinking about how we tackle climate change as a matter of individual and collective health and well-being, and as a matter of economic prosperity and national security. On this issue in particular, I see my friend and colleague Elizabeth May and the Green Party of Canada as natural and necessary allies. Climate change is the issue of our generation, and we need to move the conversation forward and develop a plan that is nonpartisan, multi-generational, one that will survive the life of any government. Likewise, as an Indigenous Canadian, it is also important to me that reconciliation be purposeful and lead to a stronger system of cooperative federalism where Indigenous peoples are full partners in Confederation. This is good for all of Canada. Yes, we have made progress, but it is not enough. We can and must do more. As an independent with like-minded colleagues, I can promote this. Moving forward, there are many other issues we need to discuss. Our riding, Vancouver-Granville, is one of the most diverse in the country and growing really quickly. And we need to continue to focus, working at all levels of government on issues such as housing and transportation, to name a few. I will be engaging in discussion on a wide range of policy issues throughout the campaign, but importantly, I want to hear from you. So talk to me. Please visit our website. It goes live sometime today, fingers crossed. Your thoughts are most welcome. I also want to say this. We can support others to run as independents or to act more independently. My good friend and colleague, Dr. Jane Philpott, is making an announcement today about her political future, and I want to acknowledge her continued leadership. So there are more MPs than you might think that see a need for a different way of doing politics and who do not like the current limitations of the party system. What some of us like to call independent partisans. These people want to collaborate. To be independent does not mean you're alone, working as one. On the contrary, it means you are committed to working with everyone. So my commitment to you, I will ensure that you have a strong voice in Ottawa that will work with whichever government is in power, as well as with all MPs, no matter their political stripe, for the betterment of Vancouver-Granville and our country. And when I say independent, I mean it in the true meanings of the word. Free from outside control, not depending on another's authority, and not depending on another for livelihood or subsistence. The only thing I will depend on is the vision, service, and support of citizens in this riding and listening to the voices of Canadians from coast to coast to coast. But I need your help. To expand the idea and the role of independence, I first need to get re-elected. And this is where you come in. This is where you come in, and this is how we need and will continue to work together, as we've done before, as we've done for 15 months preceding the previous election. I would welcome you to continue to volunteer, to donate, but most importantly, continue to spread the message and have conversations about nonpartisan approaches to politics and solving major issues. So in closing, I am looking forward to the campaign. I know in all circles the campaign has already begun, and I'm very much looking forward to our ongoing conversations. I am incredibly excited. It's been a long journey. I'm focused, and I'm committed to working hard with all of you as we move into the 2019 election. Gala Kusla, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming here today.